Hey everyone, and welcome back. First, I want to say thank you so much for the support on my last video. I really appreciate you all, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen my previous upload, I'll have it posted in the end card after this video. Today we're going to do a whole build review on one of my top 5 favorite exotic weapons in Destiny 2. With the Season 21 ability tuning preview, we saw many changes to the Arc Warlock as a whole, including a buff to the Stormtrance Super in PvE by 25%, and a buff to Landfall as well, allowing it to jolt. So, I decided to make a build video in preparation for Season 21. Let's get into it. Alright guys, we're going to be taking a look at Delicate Tomb. This is an Arc fusion rifle, and the intrinsic trait is Traitor's Vessel. Fires a wide horizontal spread when shot from the hip. That's important. Final blows with this weapon have a chance to generate ionic traces. Powerful foes and opposing guardians always generate ionic traces. The exotic trait is Tempest Cascade. Collecting an ionic trace overcharges this weapon's next shot, jolting targets on hit. Along with the catalyst, collecting an ionic trace partially reloads this weapon's magazine from reserves. So, going into the build, jolt and ionic traces, all of these are going to be generated in your Arc subclass. With Arc 3.0, the jolted, blind, and amplified verbiage was all added, and jolt for our sake basically lets you chain your arc shots back to back, and it will chain damage in between enemies, similar to Trinity Ghoul but on any arc weapon. That's why we're going to use Electrostatic Mind, which states defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. This will bring more and more ionic traces, which grant ability energy back to all 3 of your abilities when you pick one up. This is extremely important on Warlock, as we have a helmet later, which I'll show you, that increases the benefit of ionic traces even more. Arc Soul, casting your Rift will generate an Arc Soul, and while amplified, this is supercharged and will have increased fire rate. This will basically give you a little bit more extra damage on the side just from casting any Rift. And Stormtrance, the big buff is coming for Season 21, so we're going to use it here. Chain Arc Lightning down from your hands to electrify targets with devastating streams of arc light that intensify over time. Casting Stormtrance creates a shockwave underneath you. This is going to be really good when it's buffed, and it's even decent right now before Season 21, so this is what we're going to be using. Fragment wise, we'll be using Spark of Amplitude. This will create orbs of power when we rapidly defeat opponents, but Orb of Power will feed back into our build and give us a damage bonus. Spark of Discharge, this will create more ionic traces which will feed back into our abilities. Spark of Beacons, while you are amplified, your Arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. Blind states combatants are disoriented and cannot fire their weapons. While blinded, unstoppable champions are also stunned, so in PvE this has a little bit of endgame synergy built into just your subclass. And lastly, Spark of Shock. Your arc grenades jolt targets. This will be important because jolting will give us a little bit more damage out of our grenade and from Delicate Tomb overall when it's supercharged. Jolt also can stun overload champions, so that's built into just our subclass as well. And here it is, Fallen Sunstar, the exotic. Ionic Conductor is the perk. This states, ionic traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. Nearby allies also gain ability energy when you collect an ionic trace. This will basically let us spam all our abilities with very little cooldown. Going into the mods, Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Special Ammo Finder, this will increase the uptime on our special weapon. Arc Siphon, this will create an Orb of Power on our arc weapon final blows. On the gauntlets, we're going to run double grenade kickstart. This will give us a little bit of grenade energy back when we throw it, and firepower. Grenade final blows will create an Orb of Power. On the chest piece, we're going to run Arc Reserves. Again, this will increase the uptime of our special weapon. Harmonic Resistance to get a little bit of resistance from arc damage. Charged Up, this is very important. This will increase the number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1. This will help us with Special Finisher if we need it, as well as keeping our damage bonus up even longer. Going into the boots, recuperation for health replenish when we pick up an orb of power. Innervation, this will reduce our grenade cooldown when we pick up an orb of power. And Arc Weapon Surge will grant a small bonus to weapon damage while we have an armor charge. As you can see with charged up on our chest piece, that'll increase that stack by 1 and keep the bonus going a little bit longer. On the bond, Elemental Time Dilation, your decaying armor charge has a longer duration. This will keep our buff on our weapons going a little bit longer. And Special Finisher. Again, this is a back pocket option in case you're completely out of ammo for Delicate Tomb. Hopefully you have 3 armor charges and you can get off a finisher to grant you a little bit more ammo. Going into this Lost Sector, the build loop is very simple. All you need to do is throw your grenade, get that kill, and get your Ionic Trace. That will buff Delicate Tomb and amplify us on our Arc subclass, and basically one-shotting any mini-boss in any lower level or mid-tier content. Chaining damage to clear adds. You basically don't need to use your heavy until you see something extremely strong. So I'm going to demonstrate the build here, and just check out some of this chain damage back and forth. You can spam your abilities as much as you want, as long as there's enemies here that you can still kill, you don't need to worry about them. As well as your Arc Soul carrying most of the damage. As you see, I can just stand here, and until something a little bit stronger walks out, I don't need to do anything. This guy here, refresh our perks, grab our orb of power, and let's see if we can get a landfall off on this guy. That just shows off a little bit of the power of your super as well. In this Lost Sector it doesn't scale as well, but I've got some higher level content included at the end just to show you guys. Again, check out this build, please. Delicate Tomb, Arc Warlock, Fallen Sunstar. Thank you guys again. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.